L-I-B-R-A. I just wanna get fly with you. So fly, so fly. Really just trying to get high with you. So high, so high. They can't understand why we do everything, everywhere, every day. We walk on the moon. I just wanna get fly with you, with you, with you. Really just trying to get high with you, with you, with you. They can't understand why we do everything, everywhere, every day. We walk on the moon. Footsteps on the big clouds, yeah, we here now. Ain't coming down, cause I hear the sound of the lighter flick sparking big clips. Took a big rip with a thick bitch, and she fine too. About 5'2", throwing something smooth, we can vibe too. Match my energy and you can slide through. I like different flavors, let me try you. I just need a taste of what you're really giving. Don't fight the temptation, baby, release and give in. Long as you stay loyal, we both gonna end up winning. And there was no question, I know you was down to ride by my side. Unique as a rose, for the ashes I rose. Straight from the gutter, I grew up in nose. When I made it out, I couldn't believe it. Look at the beauty outside of the streets. Mama just texted me, told me she proud of me. Your son doing better, my demon just danced with me. I'll never end up another Yumbler casualty. Value the life and energy surrounding me. But still, I just wanna get fly with you. So fly, so fly. Really just trying to get high with you. So high, so high. They can't understand why we do everything, everywhere, every day. We walk on the moon. I just wanna get fly with you, with you, with you. Really just trying to get high with you, with you, with you. They can't understand why we do everything, everywhere, every day. We walk on the moon. We can be like Eric and Donna from the 70s show. Maybe Monica and Chandler, keep it on the low. Ross and Rachel, fucker, we let everybody know. Millhouse and Lisa type shit, give us time to grow. Like the seeds that were planted right under the snow, give them 6 months. Ordinaries to glow from the sunshine. Greatness takes time. One conversation, it should be mine. Trying to have an answer me, not take from me, cause I'm whole already. But I'm also kind of damaged, I got hoes already. Still a fly young king, so the hoes already. Melody, sand wavy in the flow, with steady newbie swag with a little bit of mom spaghetti. There is a kind of lyrical, no, it's not a subliminal. Went from pissy elevators to smoking my swimming pools, and I made it out. Yeah, I struggle from time to time, but I'm happy now. Obstacles coming and I see them, but I ain't backing down. Old homies that hated on me still coming back around, but I'm cool with it, cause we fly like paper, get high like planes. Sitting here laughing at all y'all lanes. I'm a beast unleashed, I can't be tamed, but you won't ever forget my name. L-I-B-R-A. I just wanna get fly with you. So fly, so fly. Really just trying to get high with you. So high, so high. They can't understand why we do everything, everywhere, every day. We walk on the moon. I just wanna get fly with you, with you, with you. Really just trying to get high with you, with you, with you. They can't understand why we do everything, everywhere, every day. We walk on the moon.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the internet, planet Earth, and parts some might call unknown. It's time for the House Divided Podcast, Season 7, Episode 1, the college football preview. Oh, we are here. We are live. Hi. I was waiting for
that we are.
I was waiting for Jordan to take it away there after the intro. We are here. Well, we are live. Only 45 minutes after what we had planned.
Yeah. You kind of figured that was going to happen.
But maybe stupid shit didn't happen and Jordan didn't get stuck at work.
Yeah.
Forever.
Wow. Yeah. You gotta love the same amount of golfers as the hours I spent there, being there today. 7 hours there, 7 people play golf.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's painful.
Yeah. It's about all there is to say about that.
Yeah.
That's pain.
Well, We got a show today with the college football preview. Doing it a little different than we have in the past couple of years because we don't want to be here till 2 a.m.
Yeah, 11 p.m. would be probably best case scenario, if not a little better.
I'd like to be earlier. So
let's do it fast. I got shit to do.
Let's get into it. I have one stupid person because I want to get the obligatory one out of the way now.
What did Mike Valeni do now?
Oh, God. Is Mike Valeni one of the obligatory ones, too?
He was the only person that appeared twice last season and got his face on the graphic.
That is true.
I figured that out today when I made the new ones.
I'm hoping this person, by getting it done out of the way now, will not be on the this segment the rest of this year because I fucking hate this person. This person / Twitter account is Big Game Boomer.
Oh boy, they'll be back.
I hope not. By trying to get it out of the way now. Just the more unhinged version of Colin Cowherd.
A little bit.
Like, the stupid upset alert he does every week, the stupid lists he does every week, his own personal top 25, just everything he does is fucking awful. It's embarrassing. This man has Colorado in his top 25.
That we saw how that went.
Yeah, this man, like, Big Game Boomer embarrasses and makes everybody else in the sports talk social media space look like idiots because he's just lazy and a bum and stupid. So there's our obligatory hopefully one-time appearance for him, especially with his floor and ceiling of every college football team with Alabama. Floor for Alabama is apparently a 5-win season. Yeah.
That would be a shock.
Yeah.
So you're saying we see him next week, Evo? Yeah, you're probably right.
Possibly. Hopefully not. And that, unless Jordan has anything, is...
I do not. A little unprepared for the season opener. Haven't scrolled a lot of dumb sports social media, but with college football back in full swing starting tomorrow, we'll get some.
Like I said, I just wanted to get this one out of the way now so I don't have to have him hopefully the rest of this year and he doesn't end up on, and that Twitter logo does not end up on this graphic. So, let's move on to the news. We only have one bit of news. Bit of news that we never want to cover. Late last night into early this morning, Columbus Blue Jackets hockey player Johnny Gaudreau passed away riding his bike with his brother Matthew in New Jersey, struck by a presumed drunk driver. Driver was arrested early this morning. I don't really have much more to add on this. It's tragic. It's stupid. It's senseless. If you go out drinking and you get behind a wheel, you need to be thrown under the jail. Especially if you kill somebody.
Yeah. I was hoping when I had heard about that last night that it was, it's one of those points where you hope that somebody just says something on Twitter and they're being dumb, and ill-informed or whatever, and then you wake up to that this morning and it's actually confirmed. It's like, man.
Yeah.
It's always tough just to lose anybody in the world of sports, anybody that you watch, and their whole career is just performing essentially for the entertainment of others, and have them lose their lives due to something like this,
yeah,
or die early or whatever. And then but to have it be just such a prolific guy in Gaudreau is it's just terrible, man. Like there's just been too many of these. I mean, one's too many. Let's be honest. But
Yeah.
Too many of these in recent years, going back to I know it hits hard for you, but Dwayne Haskins is just terrible. Like, come on.
Yeah. It's like I don't have much to say on it. Like it's other than it's senseless. And for anybody listening, if you go out drinking, don't get behind a wheel because it's not just you're impacting.
No.
Well, do you have anything more to add there? Like I said, that's a piece of news that anytime something like that comes up, it's never fun to talk about. It's always
no. There's just not much else to add except just the fact that it's sad, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's always nice when something like this happens, though, to see just the entire community around a sport or around anything kind of come together. And so many teams and so many different leagues have, posted, condolences and all that. And I don't know. It's just encouraging for the world, I guess, to see that, just people care for sure. And
I agree.
I don't know. That's like you let it off with. It's news we never like to cover, and I feel like we cover it a little bit too often.
Yeah. Well, let's change subjects then. Like I said, I don't have much to add.
Not much.
We've already said.
News and breaking traditions of years past. We're not covering news that happened 4 months ago.
Yeah. But just for pace of the show.
And I mean the fact that it happened 4 months prior.
Right. Let's change.
You know what? Let's talk about who won the NBA championship. I already forgot.
Boston.
I believe it was Boston.
I had to think for a minute.
But who cares?
Let's change topics to the college football preview. As I alluded to at the top of the show, just not that long ago, thankfully. The college football preview is going to be a little bit different than what we've done in the past couple of years, where we've gone through the entire Power 5. Once again, this is in part due to the fact that we don't want to be here till midnight, 1 a.m.
Which is something that we've said for like 4 years.
Of doing this show, of doing this segment.
Since season 2, I want to say, so probably even longer. Where we're just like, oh yeah, let's do shorter shows. Nobody wants to watch a 4-hour podcast or listen to a 4-hour podcast. Let's make it short, and then it never happens. Yeah,
this show never ends up being short, and this format, if it doesn't work, I don't know how we're going to change things for next year.
I think we can be done with this very, very quickly. Move on to the picks and be done by 10:45.
I agree. So this year for the House Divided podcast, for college football preview, we will be just doing the Big Ten. If you guys want the ACC, Big 12, or SEC,
watch another podcast.
I was just gonna say, tune into my after show. I will be doing an after show tonight where I will touch on those briefly.
It's kind of another podcast.
Yeah, more or less. So Big Ten only. Let's jump in. You want me to take this, Jordan, since I did the notes?
Yeah, I don't have the notes up, so I can read chat. So.
Okay, perfect. That works for me. We start mostly alphabetical order until we get to Ohio State and Michigan, which we will do at the end of the segment. Alphabetical. Illinois starts this off.
Oh, boy.
The way we're doing this, we have total wins and odds to win the conference. For a couple teams, we have odds to win the national title. So, Illinois.
You mean, so Illinois, obviously, we get odds to win the national championship, yeah?
Yes. No, we do not, because I wasn't going to scroll FanDuel for that long. Illinois.
20,000?
Considering their odds to win the Big Ten championship, probably bigger.
Oh, boy.
Total wins this season, regular season wins, non-con and all, 5.5. Odds to win the Big Ten national or Big Ten title, plus 30,000. We're just gonna keep track of Total wins. I'm gonna say their schedule.
You'll have to let me know.
Eastern Illinois, which is already a win, so they already have one. And again, reminder: total's 5.5. Kansas, Central Michigan, Nebraska, at Penn State, Purdue, home against Michigan, at Oregon, Minnesota, Michigan State, Rutgers, at Northwestern. If you're going to the Central Michigan game, tickets are $3.
Yeah, hey, not bad.
Looking at this, 1, 2, 3. I gotta say under. I can't.
I'm leaning under. Now is Brett Bielema still the coach?
Yes.
Brett Bielema is just the greatest when it comes to underperforming teams. So with that being said, I will go under. Illinois is not the kind of team you want to take a shot at a bizarre over on. Because just outside of just fluke seasons sometimes, Illinois is just
not good.
Mid-bottom Big Ten. I mean, they for the most part always have been.
They're just not a good team. Like,
so I am going under on Illinois and
as
their
am
odds
I.
to win the Big Ten.
Plus 30,000.
The Big Eight. Mind you, this is the first show that we have that the Big Ten is the Big 18.
Yep, this is.
So you got 17 other teams that Illinois is going to have to try and beat. They're not good enough.
No. Moving on to the block of concrete.
Oh, God. They're not in the picks this week. I don't get to say that.
I'm glad I got to say it. The Indiana Hoosiers with new head coach from the James Madison Dukes. James Madison was pretty good last year. Curt Cignetti. The dentist, Tom Allen.
Yep. Excuse you? Gesundheit?
Oh, you're talking to your girlfriend.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, Curt Cignetti.
I've just never heard of that man in my entire life.
Yep, James Madison Dukes coach. He also coached IUPUI.
Okay, for real, Gesundheit? The hell did you just say?
Yep.
What does that stand for?
Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
Huh?
You heard me. So it's actually just the IUP. Yep.
Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
You haven't said the total yet, and I don't care. Under.
New head coach Curt Cignetti. Total is 5.5. Odds to win the Big Ten. Plus 20,000. You're shaking your head. You don't want the odds to win the Big Ten.
No.
I'm taking the under as well.
Talking about hiring a coach from the University of Indiana in Pennsylvania, or is it the University of Pennsylvania in Indiana? I don't know. No.
I don't care.
They would have a better chance with the dentist.
I don't care how good James Madison was last year in the fucking whatever conference that Curt Cignetti was coached them to being on an 11-win team.
Sun Belt?
Sure, I don't even care what conference it was.
I don't even know where James Madison is.
West Virginia, or not West Virginia, Virginia. So east of us. So I'd say like
they wouldn't have been in the American.
No, I think they may have been Sun Belt. I don't care how good. I don't care how good James Madison was. Under. They ain't gonna win 5-6 games. They're not gonna be bowl eligible. They were bad with Tom Allen. They're gonna be bad with this guy. The team's basically the same as last year. Moving on. Iowa.
When do we get to the good teams? Not now.
I'd say not now. All of the good teams start with O. Other than Michigan, that's at the end of this. All the good teams start with O. Iowa. Kirk Ferentz is suspended for game 1.
Not a big deal.
Brian Ferentz is
Gone.
hopefully suspended for life.
Yeah, suspended from ever coaching in college football again because
He's
his
awful.
offenses were some of the worst offenses I've ever seen. Now, the only unfortunate part about no Brian Ferentz, I don't think this is going to be a big problem, but because Kirk is still there, is that it might take away my favorite part of Iowa football, and that is punting from their opposition's 32.
I figured you were going to
Maybe
say
even
that.
inside the 30. I don't know. I love Iowa. Torrey Taylor should be a great punter in the NFL. Tough shoes to fill for whoever's kicking balls for the Iowa Hawkeyes this year. Oh, God. Cade McNamara, I guess, which is why Kirk Ferentz is suspended.
He is.
Yeah, recruited a little early on the transfer in Cade McNamara, where if you would have given Jim Harbaugh a box of donuts, I think he would have let you have Cade.
Yep.
He wasn't starting over JJ.
Accurate statement.
Mhm.
Accurate statement.
I don't even know if Jim Harbaugh eats donuts. I'm pretty sure that man's diet consists of milk and steak.
Probably. Total wins for the Iowa Hawkeyes. 8.5. The
Ooh.
odds to win the Big Ten. 3,900. Most odds to win the Big Ten that we've seen so far.
Mm. Now you're still gonna have a defense because it's Iowa.
Yep.
You're gonna have some crazy linebackers. You're gonna have just a solid defense overall. But that solid defense isn't enough to compete with the top teams in this conference. This extended conference now. 8.5, man.
Iowa's schedule, if it helps. Illinois State tomorrow, Boopadoo. Iowa State next week. Troy at
Probably
Minnesota.
Could be a loss. Do you say Troy?
Troy.
Okay, they might be Troy.
That's week 3. At Minnesota. At Ohio
Tough
State.
to say. Minnesota played North Carolina tough last night.
And they did. At Ohio State.
No.
Home against Washington.
Tough to say what Washington's going to be.
At Michigan State.
Tough to say what either of those schools are going to be.
Northwestern Wisconsin. At UCLA. At Maryland. Ending with Nebraska.
They're going to win some games. I don't think they're going to win 9 to get me an over. They might fight. They might fight to be bowl eligible just because of that defense and Cade McNamara being a safe quarterback. They might win some games. They're not winning 9.
I am agreeing. We're both taking the under.
House divided is united once again.
Yeah. Maryland.
Ooh.
We just keep getting worse and worse teams. 1 second. Maryland, no Tualia Tagovailoa. I don't even know who Maryland's starting at quarterback. I'm looking at their quarterbacks right now. They got Cameron Edge, Billy Edwards, Roman Jensen, who doesn't have a picture on ESPN, Champ Long, and Christian Martin, who doesn't have a picture on ESPN, MJ Morris, and Jaden Sorry.
I get that this is college football, and a good chunk of those guys are underclassmen probably, but I've never heard of a single one of them.
Out of everybody that I named, they have one junior. Them are freshmen freshmen or sophomores.
Oh boy.
It is very difficult to win in college football, and more so even in the Big Ten, with a true freshman quarterback. It's difficult. Your Maryland win total is 6.5. Odds to win the Big Ten are 15,000.
6.5 though.
You want the schedule.
No, because this team is just so young at some very key positions. I don't know.
I'm taking the under. Just looking at their schedule, like they have some easy ones against it. They have UConn tomorrow. Tickets if you're in the Maryland area or UConn, Maryland area. Maryland plays in Maryland. $2.
Oh, they play in Maryland. I know that.
I do too.
Wow.
They got some easy ones like UConn and Villanova, but then they have USC, Oregon, Iowa, Penn State thrown in there.
It's not their basketball schedule. UConn and Villanova.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, UConn, Virginia are some easy ones, but like this team, we can't pick 6.5. I can't take 6.5.
I may regret this, but this will be my first shot and our first differing opinion, just because I feel like we have to. Give me the over on Maryland. They'll win 7 games. Okay. How? I don't know. I'm just banking on all their young guys somehow being good. Because Maryland's been trending in the right direction. We'll see if that remains true, but tough to say.
I'm going to give you Michigan State's win total and odds to win the Big Ten. You want to talk about them for a minute? Because I'm about to throw my dog into the river.
Oh, God. Well, the best way to do that is to try and scroll and find the score of the game that they're playing as we speak.
Yeah.
Wherever that may be.
Michigan State win total is 4.5. Odds to win the Big Ten.
Ooh.
Plus 30,000. I will be back in a moment.
All right. Well, current game score is 16-3, tail end of the third, against Florida Atlantic. Now, mind you, that spread was what was the spread actually? Oh, hey, spread went down. Spread was 10. Michigan State's covering, so that's an improvement. Michigan State is a very unproven team. They are. I think earlier when I was listening to the beginning of the broadcast of the game, they said they had 60 new guys on that roster, including the new head coach. You just don't know what to expect for Michigan State. Aiden Childs, they're putting a lot of faith in him. And real quick sidebar, they've added captain's patches to the jerseys on Michigan State, which is a bizarre look. And Aiden Childs' captain patch is on top of his shoulder. That's neither here nor there when we're talking about Wintle. I was asked by somebody that me and Austin used to work with a couple weeks ago what my predictions were for Michigan State, and I said 7-6. So 4.5 doesn't really seem all that bad. So I guess I'm taking the over on Michigan State, which is something that doesn't happen very often. So there's that. What else do you want me to say about Michigan State? What does Austin expect? He's been gone too long. Hey, State grad over there. Well, your opinions on Michigan State football? She does have a Michigan State shirt on. I don't know if anybody caught that when she walked in the background, but yeah. What are your opinions on new head coach Jonathan Smith?
He brought back Thunderstruck when they come out of the tunnel. That was a long-standing tradition for the previous guy that I personally didn't like.
Yeah, she hated Mel Tucker.
Yeah, so there's that. That's good.
But is it still the deep end of the woodshed?
So
Spartan dogs for life. No?
Unless they've made that a menu item, you will not hear me say those words.
Spartan dog. Oh, Christ.
No.
Now, see, that is I really think that Michigan State should capitalize on that, and they should start selling Spartan roller dogs. Tell me that wouldn't sell.
Oh, it would sell. I'm mad because you're right.
Uh-huh.
But I don't want any more boxing ring, woodshed, deep end.
Oh, the boxing ring
No,
graphics
it's
were
so
hilarious.
bad.
Live from ringside at the woodshed in the deep end.
Where is this?
Will Nathan Carter win the Heisman? I know you probably don't even know who Nate Carter is, nor what the Heisman Award is. But will he win it?
You're looking at me so expectantly, I'm gonna say no.
Quick explanation is that
I know what the Heisman Trophy is. I have no idea who that man is.
Gavin last year at work said that Nathan Carter was going to win the Heisman. He was just the running back for Michigan State. So there's that. Austin is finally back.
What was the score of that Michigan State game? I know what I'm going to say.
16-3.
Still, okay. Wow, that game's bad. Aiden
They're
Childs,
covering.
yeah, they are. Aiden Childs threw an interception on his. I believe it was either the first play of the game or the first pass of the game. For Michigan State.
No, wait. So that happened right as me and Avery were leaving work tonight.
Yeah, that was the first play of the game. Like one of the first plays of the game.
We saw that. That got called a pick?
Yeah.
Oh, God, there's no way.
Yeah.
That was, okay, as much as I hate Michigan State, look at what we got going on here. Much as I hate MSU, that's not a pick.
I didn't see the play, but...
There was, first off, there was PI.
Ooh.
That didn't get called. And then second off, cornerback for FAU juggled the ball, did not keep his feet in bounds, was still juggling the ball when he was out of bounds.
Nice.
If when we left work, that was getting reviewed.
Yeah, it stood.
No, it wasn't called a pick. It was called an incomplete pass. They've had to reverse that.
Oh. Well,
I already took the over on Michigan State.
I have no faith in Michigan State, but 4.5's too low. Jonathan Smith was a good coach at Oregon State. Aiden Childs was all right at Oregon State. I don't think he's going to light up the world, but 4.5 is just too low. Give me the over. They're not going to win the Big Ten. They're not going to be relevant in the Big Ten. Like, they have to play Ohio State and Oregon 6 days apart. They're going to get mauled by those two teams. They're going to get mauled by Michigan.
I brought up the fact that when a couple weeks ago, when Gavin asked me what my prediction was for Michigan State, I said 7-6. They will make a bowl game. They will have a winning record.
Yep.
Or not 7-6, 7-5 in the regular season. Who knows what their bowl is? 7-5.
Yep. I think they'll be a 7-win team.
Which is, they just got so many new guys. Michigan State under Mel Tucker had just that one flash in the pan year.
Kenneth Walker.
Because Kenneth Walker carried that entire team. Because it wasn't Peyton Thorne.
He was awful.
He's not capable of doing that.
Peyton Thorne's awful down in Auburn.
Yes, he
like,
is.
He's just awful.
I think he might still be there.
He is.
But I'm on the over for Michigan State. I mean, there's just so much new that they've got to improve.
Yeah, and that number's just too low.
We heard on the broadcast, me and Avery did, that there were 60 new players on the roster.
Yeah, Michigan State.
Granted, that happened last year at Colorado when we saw the result. However, I just don't think. I think Smith is a good enough coach where he's going to get enough, and he brought a lot of his own guys too from Oregon State.
Yeah.
So, especially his number one guy, Aiden Childs,
This
18-year-old captain. By the way, have you seen the captain patches on Michigan State's jerseys now?
No, are they bad?
Aiden Childs is on the top of his shoulder almost.
I wasn't expecting to press the Tim Allen button this early, but There's one stretch that worries me about this Michigan State team, and it will very much define their season. Starting week 5, September 28th, they go Ohio State at home, travel to Eugene for Oregon, home against Iowa, who's currently ranked 25th, and then at number 9 Michigan. So they play the number 2, number 3, number 25, and number 9 team in a 4-week stretch. That stretch worries me for this team. This could be a stretch. That could be a stretch where this team implodes.
Mm-hmm.
Like they.
But I mean, just getting your ass kicked, because let's be honest, they're going to during that stretch. Getting your ass kicked for a month straight is not going to be good for the confidence at all. And if they don't come out of that stretch
with at least one win
those, well, they're not. I really don't think they're going to win any of those games. But if they don't come out of that through those games, that win total is in serious jeopardy.
I mean, they end the season with Indiana, Illinois, Purdue, and Rutgers. But
they might lose to Purdue. They might lose to Rutgers.
Yeah.
Never know.
Like, I think they're going to be a 7-win team, but there is that 4-game stretch that worries me, that they could just get absolutely mauled. Like, they could win Iowa maybe, but the other 3 games, Ohio State, Oregon, Michigan, they're just going to get absolutely fucking...
So now the good news for us is that we only need 5 wins. Even though I'm predicting 7, we only need 5.
Yes.
So there's that.
We're both taking the over. Let's move on to the Minnesota Golden Gophers, PJ Fleck. Yeah. Rowing boats. They didn't really row it last night. They had a funny little goof up. I don't know if you saw it.
Hilarious.
They missed the game-winning field goal as time is expiring. The pyrotechnics dude had a mistake and shot off all of the fireworks.
Unreal. Now, granted, I did say that Minnesota gave North Carolina a run for their money last night.
They did.
But their quarterback died, North Carolina.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Minnesota, total wins is 5.5. Odds to win the Big Ten, 25,000. Do we want, and mind you, they already have a loss.
They already have a loss.
Do you want a schedule for 5.5?
No, I think they're right at 6-6.
I'm looking at this. They got 2 easy games coming up with Rhode Island and Nevada.
Even Nevada on the right week, you never know.
Yeah, right week. Then they do have a tough stretch against Iowa, your Michigan Wolverines, and then home against USC. I have various opinions about USC. We'll get there in a few minutes.
Last battle for the Little Brown Jug. Who knows? I just don't see with this conference being that big that trophy's going to get defended very much.
But then they end the season UCLA, Maryland, with games like UCLA, Maryland, Illinois. A couple tough ones.
UCLA's not supposed to be very good. Maryland, who knows?
So, I mean, then they have Rutgers, Penn State, Wisconsin.
They probably lose all those.
I could see them. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. I could give them 6. I'm at that number where it's like 5.5. Or I'm sitting. They could get 5. They could be 6. I'm gonna give them the over. Are you taking the over?
I'm taking the over just barely at 6 as well.
Okay. Nebraska. Odds for Minnesota to win the Big Ten, by the way, I don't know if I said them. Plus 25,000. They're just not good enough.
No, and I like PJ Fleck a lot, but
he's just struggled so hard getting that team off the ground.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if he does, then they could really be something, just have a really great season. But I mean, it's tough to recruit to Minnesota. It's not a school with a lot of football success. It's just going to be very tough for him to get players there. So, I mean, I like Fleck. Right now, they're just kind of mid-pack Big Ten.
Agreed. Next up, the Nebraska Cornmen.
Who the hell knows?
Led by Matt Rule, I believe he's still there.
Yep, second season.
Total wins 7.5. Odds to win the Big Ten surprisingly low at plus 5,000.
Yeah, and it's all coming down, you got to think, to Dylan Raiola.
Yeah.
You're starting a true freshman quarterback, as high of a recruit as he was. And I mean, Raiola was committed to Georgia, yes?
Committed to Ohio State at one point, and then Georgia, and then Nebraska.
Yeah. And I think even at one point Notre Dame. I don't remember.
Possibly.
Actually, no, that was Lloyd Carr's kid. Never mind. But regardless, it all comes down to what you think you're gonna get from Raiola. Their total was what, 7.5?
7.5, I believe.
Oh man.
7.5.
Even though you disagreed with our statement, me and Caleb, a couple years ago, when we always said Nebraska was better than their record because it kept playing close games and then imploded in the fourth. We're a couple years removed from that, and they didn't really do that last year. You're asking one player, essentially, to carry your team. And I just don't know. Like, I get that his dad, Dominic, went to Nebraska and all that.
They had 5 wins last year. They would need to find 2 more with a
tougher schedule. Yeah. There's just no way that their schedule's any easier.
No. Tougher schedule and a true freshman quarterback.
Yeah. Same with Minnesota. I'm at 6. I think they make a bowl, but I don't see him winning 7 games or
8.
even 8.
So you need 8 for the over.
Yeah,
and...
no. I mean, unless Dylan Raiola sets the world on fire and we're completely wrong, but I can't put faith in it. There are so few true freshmen that just come out there and just win games, and it's a tough thing to do. Who the hell knows? And I know he played high school football, but still, it's tough to say what to expect.
Like I said with Maryland, when we looked at Maryland's quarterback roster, and except for one junior who I presume starter maybe, you have all freshmen and sophomores. It is so hard in college football, and even harder in the Big Ten. It's so hard in the Big Ten, and even just harder in college football in general, to win with young quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Unless you have elite, yes, I know Ohio State did it with C.J. Stroud. A lot of teams have done it. But you look at the talent that some of those sophomore redshirt freshmen or true sophomore quarterbacks have had around them. It's been so fucking good.
Nebraska is not Ohio State.
They're not Alabama. Michigan. They're not Michigan. They're not Georgia. They're not Florida. It's just not. I can't take.
Schools like Georgia could get away with it because they have talent everywhere, and I just don't think Nebraska does.
Yeah, no, I can't look at it.
I like Matt Rule. I like what he's doing with Nebraska. He's the first coach in Nebraska in a long time where you feel like there's a little bit of hope there.
I agree. I do agree.
We're talking about a transition in 2 years from under Scott Frost, where that team was dog shit for the most
part. One of the worst in the Big Ten.
I mean, they were flirting with being worse than Rutgers.
Yeah.
And it's just a 2-year stretch. I don't think he's going to turn them in from not one of the worst teams in the Big Ten, one of the worst power conference teams to all of a sudden contenders for a conference championship. Matt Rule, since he was at Temple, yes?
Yes.
Before he went to the NFL?
Yeah.
Flamed out in the NFL, but...
He's a good college coach.
And I think he's gonna do good things for Nebraska, but he's a year or two away.
I can't. Yeah, I agree. We're both gonna take the under there.
Yep, and it's a big year for Nebraska too, because you feel like Raiola has to do well if you're gonna talk about getting that team better, getting more players to come to Nebraska. If it's a bad year, you can't guarantee that.
Moving on, as you hit the nail on the head there.
Yep.
Moving on, we got Northwestern now. Total wins 4.5.
Oh.
The lowest win total we've seen. Odds to win the Big Ten. I didn't even put the number there. They're just plus big.
Plus, put $1 on that, and you'd actually win some money should it happen.
Yeah.
Substantial money.
Yeah, it was plus 50 or 60,000.
Oh God.
It was huge. It was a number I can't believe I saw. It was one of those, why are we even giving them odds? This is going to be a really goofy year for Nebraska. They play a game in Wrigley Field against Ohio State. They play
Yeah.
They play most of their games in their practice facility. Because Ryan Field is shut down for renovation or building a new stadium, whatever they're doing down there in Evanston.
I think they basically tore the whole thing down and they're redoing it.
I think so. They're playing
kind of like a Soldier Field type thing.
Most of their games are going to be played in their practice facility. If I remember correctly, except for their game against Ohio State, which we played fucking Wrigley Field. Win totals 4.5. Again, odds to win the Big Ten are fucking huge. Looking at this schedule, I'm not going to give you the full schedule. I'm just going to give you some highlights. They got Iowa October 26th. They have Ohio State, Michigan back-to-back weeks. Battle of the Nerds next week, which I'll be doing a sidecast over at 9 p.m. Fucking 9 p.m. I don't see them getting... And they were surprising last year. They fired Pat Fitzgerald.
They won some games and
they fired Pat Fitzgerald. They won their bowl game against Utah, 14-7.
A very depleted Utah.
Yeah, went 8-5 with the bowl win. I don't think they're going to be able to turn around and do that again.
No,
I can't take 4.5 is a low number.
Yeah, but damn, man.
I can't take. I'm just looking at the schedule. I'm not even gonna I highlighted a couple that they're gonna lose. I can't say 5 wins. For Northwestern.
I'm with that.
Not much to say there. I'm assuming you don't have anything to add about Northwestern. Like I said,
I have zero expectations.
Yep. Moving on.
We picked the over on Michigan State at that same number. They have a lot more promise than Northwestern.
Agreed. Moving on to a team that supposedly is going to be good. I don't necessarily buy into it a bit. We'll talk about them. The Oregon Ducks. Quack, quack, quack. Total wins 10.5. Odds to win the Big Ten, they are the second favorite at plus 200. Odds to win the national title, plus 600. I struggle with this team. I struggle with it. Bo Nix, for everything that he was, Bo Nix was good.
For what they asked him to do, yes.
He was good. They bring in former fucking UCF and Oklahoma quarterback Dylan Gabriel, who just wasn't great.
No,
I can't pick the over here. Now, that being said, Oregon has a really easy schedule. They Idaho, Boise, at Oregon State, at UCLA, or home against Michigan State, home against Ohio State, at Purdue, Illinois, at Michigan, Maryland, at Wisconsin, Washington. They have a very easy schedule. They only play two tough teams in the Big Ten. I think they lose both of them.
Michigan and Ohio State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means I would have to take the under. And
the number was what, 10.5?
Yeah. And here's my thing with this. I think Dan Lanning gets way too much fucking credit for being this elite head coach when every year, the past few years, a couple years ago, 3 years ago, it was against Utah where he just fucking sucked. Got raced by Utah twice, yet Cam Rising's a fucking dude. Kyle Whittingham is a stud of a head coach. Utah's great. Got bullied by Oregon twice. Or by Utah twice. Oregon did. 2 years ago, just weren't good. Got bullied by Utah and USC. Last year, they got bullied by Washington twice. Dan Lanning, it's almost fitting that the next team we talk about also has a very overrated head coach. Dan Lanning and James Franklin are the same fucking person, except one of them has hair. Like, they can't win the games that matter. Great. Oregon fucking bludgeoned Liberty. Awesome. Good for you, Oregon. You didn't beat Washington. You lost to them twice. Great. Good job. You win your meaningless bowl game every year and you look good. Good for you guys. Oregon and Kansas State University are the same fucking team. Give me the under.
The new college football playoff, the expanded playoff, is really Oregon. Teams like Oregon probably benefit the most.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Teams that are just right on that cusp, but then shit the bed.
Yep.
I don't know. They return a good bit. And even though I'm not super high on Dylan Gabriel, I do think he's better than Bo Nix. Bo Nix to me is just that check down specialist. I mean, what? I believe over 70% of his passes last year were under 10 yards.
Yep.
Over half of his passing yards were garnered by his receivers. I don't know. 10.5's a rough total to get. I will take the over, but I'm not happy.
That's fair. Meaning you think they will beat either Ohio State or Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
One of the two.
I am seeing, or I've seen what Oregon does year after year, and not even just under Dan Lanning, but seemingly there's always this hype around Oregon.
Yep.
And they never live up to it. There was that one year they made the Natty with Mariota, and it's like, okay, cool.
And then
you finally put something together. But that was what, 10 years ago?
Yeah, and they lost to Ohio State.
Yeah, and they're just consistently rated very high, and they don't produce where it matters in the biggest games of the year. Like I said, I would not be surprised if this is under 10.5, but I will slightly, not even really buy in, just kind of take a shot in the dark on this one.
That's fair.
And hope for the best.
Like I said, I think they're going to lose to Ohio State, Michigan. Yeah.
Well, because, I don't know what kind of defense Oregon's going to have. We'll see. But if it's anything like what they had a year ago, when they got crumbled by Washington, and then you saw what Washington did to Michigan, and I mean, Ohio State and Michigan both beat that Oregon team a year ago, right? So if it's similar, I mean, Michigan's still got a defense.
Ohio State's almost the same
offense is in
fucking
question.
team.
Exactly. So I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked, but I'll take the over.
Fair. Moving on, like I said, I take the under. They're 10-2. Moving on, Kansas State University. Plus 500 or 9.5. Win total is 9.5. Plus 500 to win the Big Ten. Plus 2,000 to win the national championship. This new scheduling of the Big Ten, getting rid of divisions, favors Penn State because now they don't have.
Yeah.
I mean, they still have Ohio State, but they're not in the division of death with Michigan too. Some notable games. They have West Virginia tomorrow, which we'll talk about in the picks.
I'm actually, if you have the full schedule in front of you, I feel like I need that for this one.
Okay, I do have it. At West Virginia and Morgantown, Bowling Green, Kent State, Illinois.
All right, 4-0.
Yep.
Maybe.
Well, I
Maybe.
think 3-1, but then
Which team are they losing to?
West Virginia.
Okay, we're on the same page with that.
Then after Illinois, UCLA, at USC, at Wisconsin, home against Ohio State, home against Washington, into their season at Purdue, at Minnesota, home against Maryland. Reminder, total was 9.5, so you need 10-2.
I'm going on this solely based off of what I just counted. Completely, almost impulsively, that they go 10-2. But what did we say about Penn State last year? That they were going to go a fraudulent 10-2 or 9-3. It's probably going to be the same. Unless Drew Allard takes a massive step forward, that team could crumble against big opponents the very same way.
I agree. I have to take the over at 10-2. I think they're going to lose to West Virginia. They're going to lose to Ohio State. Because that's what James Franklin does. James Franklin loses to Ohio State. Other than the 1 year where they won off of a blocked field goal returned for a touchdown. 2 blocked field goals returned for touchdowns, I'm sorry. Back in 2016. And James Franklin and Penn State have been riding off of that one game 8 years ago now. And at some point it has to fucking stop. It won't, but it has to. Fraudulent 10-2 losses to West Virginia and Ohio State, because the other team, like USC, just isn't very good. And I don't know what you're going to get with like Wisconsin, Washington.
Yeah.
I could see them go
Is this a hot seat year for James Franklin?
It should be, but it probably won't.
Yeah, because if he goes 10-2 again, makes a good bowl game, maybe even sneaks into the playoffs at 10-2. Who knows?
Yeah.
If he gets a playoff appearance for Penn State, even with the expanded playoff, they probably keep him.
Oh, like that's like we said with Oregon. This expanded playoff fits teams like Oregon or Penn State that repeatedly shit the bed in the biggest scenarios and just
then
look
they'll play
terrible.
a team like Utah in the playoffs and just get boat raced.
Yeah. Or Ole Miss like they did in the whatever bowl they played this past bowl season. Where
High
they
hopes for Ole Miss.
Yeah. I gotta take the over. It's gonna be just like last year, fraudulent 10-2, 9-3. Maybe sneak into the playoff and just look stupid.
Yep.
That's what they do.
10 through 12 seed in the playoff.
Yep. Moving on to Purdue. Total wins 4.5. Odds to win the Big Ten plus 40,000. It should tell you something about Northwestern's odds to win the Big Ten when plus 40,000 gets a number, but Northwestern didn't. Do you want to schedule for Purdue?
No. What was the win total again?
4.5.
Ooh.
Here's the thing. I'm not gonna give you the full schedule because I don't need it. You don't need it. I'm going to throw some games that they have, though, at you. Week 2, Notre Dame. Home game for them.
I don't believe in Notre Dame a whole lot. I never do, but
Notre Dame could Purdue
they're
there.
better than Purdue.
You don't think Notre Dame's going to Purdue at Purdue Stadium at the Train?
No, I don't think they get Purdue.
Home against Oregon. Friday, October 18th. No Purdue? No Oregon, no Purdue?
No, I'm not feeling a lot of Purdue's.
At Ohio State, the Purdue doesn't usually travel.
No.
At least,
No, if the Purdue travels, the Purdue happens to Purdue.
yep.
Because then they'll be in a game and then shit the bed at the end. They'll do what Minnesota did last night.
Yep. And then after traveling to Columbus, they have home game, their final home game, Senior Day, hosting number 8 Penn State on the 16th of November. Penn State could Purdue this game because it's Penn State.
Penn State is always a good candidate for a Purdue.
But right there, just off of those schedule, I can't give the. I don't know if I can pick the over at 4.5. 5 and 7. What do you want here? What are you thinking?
All right, two things. The Big Ten needs their 5 and 7 teams to just miss out on a bowl game. And shout out to Tucker. He's the biggest Hudson Card fan in the world. 5 and 7 for the Boilermakers.
We're both taking the under. Or well, no, that'd be the over. 4.5.
I'm taking the over.
Let me look at this. 1, 2, 3.
Apparently, score update from Western Michigan and Wisconsin. They are tied with 2 minutes left in the first half.
Oh, 4. I need 4.5, right?
Yes.
I need 5. Penn State's a candidate to Purdue right there. So I could get 5 and 7. I can get 5 and 7.
What's their non-conference like?
Indiana State, Notre Dame, Oregon State.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Indiana State. So like they'll get 2 wins right there against Indiana State and Oregon State most likely.
Yeah, Oregon State could be in a little bit of shambles this year. Who knows? But
I can see.
I was hoping for 3 wins in non-conference, but I can't say they're gonna get it.
I could give them 2 non-con wins, 2 Big Ten wins. We're both gonna take the over. That's because somebody will get Purdue at the Train, whether it be Notre Dame or probably not Oregon. Notre Dame or Penn State are your candidates.
Penn State's perfect for it.
Yep. Moving on to stupid Rutgers playing at the birthplace. Total wins 6.5. Odds to win the Big Ten plus 12,000.
And these odds makers are getting smarter. Well, they're not going to win the Big Ten.
No,
They're not there.
No.
Can they win 7 games?
They already have 1 win, so they need 6 more.
They've already won 1 game, albeit against Howard, but
their starting quarterback is Ethan Kalkmanis, Minnesota's starter from last year.
Yeah.
They still got Kyle Monangai.
Yep.
He's a dude.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in Kalkmanis, but I do have faith in Kyle Monangai. If they use him like they did in the early stages of last year, for sure.
Total was 6.5, right?
Yes, I'm a big fan of stupid Rutgers. I really am. They've been
Shiano's
trending in the right.
pylon, but
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Shiano by any means, but they've been trending in the right direction. Give me the over on stupid Rutgers.
I'm going to take the over because they're going to get 3 non-con wins against. They already got 1. Then they have Akron, Virginia Tech. And then
Tech could be a little tough, but who knows?
Then you throw in Maryland, Illinois, Minnesota right there. There's 6.
Got to find one somewhere else.
And
I think they
then
can do it.
they also have UCLA. So 7 right there.
Bang.
They got Michigan State to end the season. That could be 8.
Yep.
So I'm also on the over on Stupid Rutgers. Greg Schiano, I made a graphic, but I don't have it sitting around. Had a picture of his face that said, "I'm big dumb, big sad, and or big dumb, big angry, and big constipated." And well, it was after the him saying that Connor Stallions was stealing signs.
That was, yes, Greg Schiano was, he's not the whistleblower necessarily, but he is one that was,
I still have it sitting around.
I remember that halftime interview.
I have it sitting around real quick.
Quick disclaimer, the Connor Stallions denies all wrongdoing.
Yeah, here it is. I'll just send it right to you.
Says that every team in the country has a Connor Stallions. I have not watched the documentary yet. Those are quotes from Paul.
I have not watched it, and I probably will not.
I have to, right? I feel like I have to, even though I've already heard that it's just a big old nothing burger.
Yeah.
Dumbest documentary, most pointless documentary of all time. He was never going to tell you anything.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm taking the over. We're both going to take the over. Let's move on to UCLA.
Yep.
UCLA total wins is 4.5. Odds to win the Big Ten plus 25K. You're taking the under?
Yeah, there is just no expectations from UCLA at all. There is no noise about UCLA even having a possible chance at really competing much in their first Big Ten season.
Oh my god! Oh my god! This schedule.
I can't.
Yeah, I'm taking the under. 4.5. It was what, 4.5, right?
Yeah, no.
I'm not high on.
Now, granted, I'm sure they got a couple cookies in there, but the rest of the schedule is probably really tough.
They're non-con. They have traveled to LSU week 3.
Oh fuck!
And then at Hawaii, goofy things happen on the island. This is tomorrow night, and then regular season finale is Fresno.
Wait, regular season finale is Fresno State?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Ending with Fresno. Eesh. Looking at this schedule, need 5 wins.
You might get 2 in non-con, but it doesn't
1,
really
2,
matter.
3, 4. I can get to 4. I gotta take the under.
Yeah, I'm of all the teams that joined the Big Ten, UCLA is they're just not a threat right now to almost anyone. Yeah.
Moving on to USC. Number 13 ranked USC. I will be covering them sidecast on Sunday night. Their game against LSU at a neutral site. Side note there. Total wins 7.5. Odds to win the Big Ten 2,000. Note, even though they're predicted to win less games than the Michigan Wolverines, they have better odds to win the Big Ten than the Michigan Wolverines.
How does that even make sense?
No, never mind. I'm just dumb. I was reading Michigan's odds to win the national championship. Digress. They don't have better odds to win the Big Ten than Michigan now. Okay, I just can't fucking read.
So what are their odds?
Plus 2,000. Win total 7.5. I do not think USC is going to be good. Their defense was pitiful last year. Their offense was not great, even with Caleb Williams.
No, that team fell apart in the second half of the year.
Lincoln Riley is not the coach that everyone thinks he is. Everyone thinks Lincoln Riley is this amazing,
but he hasn't accomplished anything.
Phenom head coach because he has 4 Heisman winning quarterbacks, which have.
So he's a recruiter. Great.
Yeah. All of which have transferred to him from somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, He's not this dude. Caleb Williams may have been his recruit, but Baker wasn't his. Kyler wasn't his.
No.
I only have 3, but I digress. No. I think
hell, Julian Sand, Julian Sand? Is that right? Is he at USC? No. Malachi Nelson.
Malachi Nelson, yeah. Julian Sand's at Ohio State now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I know Malachi Nelson's not starting, but fuck. Oh, man.
Yeah.
8.5. They'd have to win 9.
Oh, no, 7.5.
Oh, okay.
But they have number 13 LSU. I'm just throwing some out here.
That's a big game. That's a very, very big game.
Week 1. Week 3 at Michigan. No, week 4. I'm sorry. Week 4 at Michigan. Home against Penn State October 12th. And then end of the season against Notre Dame, which Notre Dame, who the fuck knows what they're going to be ranked.
Yeah, who knows?
USC probably won't be ranked by then either.
8 wins.
I'm already looking at 3 losses, possibly 4. And they could trip up against like a Washington or Rutgers. Or depending on how good Nebraska is, they could trip up against Nebraska.
I'm going to take a very slight over. Because there's just no possible way that they collapse in the same way that they did a year ago to finish the season like they did. There just isn't a way. Even with a tougher schedule, even in a big fucking super conference, you just no. That was one of the craziest implosions I've ever seen.
Yeah.
They couldn't do anything right.
No, they couldn't. I do not think. I think they're going to struggle to win 8, so I'm taking the under. I think they'll win 7.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're going to go out there and win 10, 11 games, but 8, I think, is a certain possibility.
I mean, that's fair. It's going to be 7 or 8.
9 would probably be the absolute ceiling.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm comfortable saying
8. That's fair.
Yeah.
See, I think 8 is their ceiling. And
it's right in that ballpark.
Yeah,
it's hard to say.
I do got to take the under. Let's move on to the final Pac-12, rest in peace, team in the Big Ten. The Washington Huskies, the national runners-up, the Pac-12 champions. Oh boy, this team is... Yeah, well, the final Pac-12 champions.
I mean, the Pac-2 does exist.
Pac-2 does exist. 6.5 wins is the total. Odds to win the Big Ten, 11,000. I
lost a lot. Win total again? I missed that.
6.5.
Oh, man. Lost a lot. You can't easily replace a guy like Penix, what he did for that team.
Will Rogers is going to be their starter.
And Kalen DeBoer going to Alabama. That's a big blow.
Yep.
And it's not a blow that's easily recovered from. So you're asking me to tell you that they're going to win 7 games. Or 8 games. What was their total? 6.5?
6.5. 6.5. 6.5.
7 games. I can't say they will.
That's fair.
So,
like I said, their starter is Will Rogers, so they got a guy who's got experience at least. But I just don't think they can win 7 games. They got easy non-con. Oh, wait, where'd it go? Struggling here, apparently. They got easy non-cons against Weber State, Eastern Michigan, and then Washington State battle for the Apple Cup there.
Weber State, while we were watching the pregame for Michigan State today, I heard for the first time the phrase Big Ten After Dark.
That game is at 11 p.m.
I know.
Tickets for it, if you're in the Seattle area, are $3.
Oh, so even the fans don't have hope.
Yeah.
Well, that just reinforces the belief.
But I'm also looking at this schedule. Michigan, loss. Penn State, probable loss. Oregon, probable loss to end the season. There's 3. Rutgers, game that I'm covering on the 27th. Rutgers is going to win that game, most likely, at the birthplace. USC, probable loss. So we're at 5. I think they could trip up somewhere else. Like I said, USC, Iowa. I think it's just too much to ask for them to get 7. So I'm going to take the under.
They had their run. They couldn't get it done. They had Penix, who just was an absolute difference maker for them. And they still have a little bit of receiver talent. But I can't do it.
If Kalen DeBoer was there still, I would be convinced. I would be able to say...
If Kalen DeBoer stays, they have a better team as well. So.
Yeah. Next team, we move on to Wisconsin. They're still playing. Game is 7-7 against Western. 17 seconds left in the second quarter. Win total for the Wisconsin Badgers, 6.5. Odds to win the Big Ten plus 5,000. It's not looking good for that 6.5.
Being tied with a MAC team.
MAC team. They also have Alabama as part of their non-con. And they have, from just what I've looked at, one of the toughest Big Ten schedules. At USC, Penn State, at Iowa, home against Oregon. And then, again, they also have Alabama, too.
I have not been high on Wisconsin really much at all the last couple seasons. You played in one of the worst divisions in college football in the Big Ten East, Big Ten West, rather.
Big Ten West, yep.
And they just can't get it done. Think about the run that Michigan's been on and the 3 straight Big Ten championships. When did we face Wisconsin in any of those?
You didn't.
We didn't.
Iowa, Purdue, Iowa.
Yep.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Tougher conference, tougher schedule, under.
Same. There's a couple teams that, I've said it, that will benefit from no divisions with this 18-team conference. There's a couple teams that will benefit.
Is gonna get blasted.
Wisconsin, on the other hand, is not one of those teams. Like I said, Penn State, biggest benefactor of no divisions because they now aren't guaranteed locked into Ohio State and Michigan like they have been for the past decade. Wisconsin, however, is going to just get shelled because they're not locked into the weakest division in one of the weakest divisions in the Power Conference.
Power Conference. That's a new term. I know. It sucks.
So I take the under.
Quick score update. Michigan State leads FAU 16-10.
Oh,
with 2:52 to go.
Oof. That's making the over that we're taking 4.5 a little scary.
It's making it a little scary. I was more focusing on the fact that Avery got a text from Owen, who is at that game, by the way.
He spent 3 hours outside the stadium before he got in.
Yes, he did. Saying, they covering, boy.
Let's move on so we can start getting out of here. The Ohio State Buckeyes. We got the best 2 teams in the Big Ten from last year.
Well, Iowa made the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah, we saw how that worked for them.
It didn't work out well either time they did that. They finished second in the Big Ten.
If you want to be super technical, sure. Sure. The Ohio State Buckeyes. Stop it, dog. Win total, 10.5. Odds to win the Big Ten, 145. Odds to win the national championship, plus 400. What say you?
Sorry, what are you doing over there?
I'm afraid.
Did Michigan State score a touchdown or something? You went like this. I don't even know if she has the podcast on, but just out of the corner of my eye, I see her go like this.
I'm afraid.
Like, oh, did Michigan State score? I don't know.
No, but now I'll check for you.
What is happening?
Win total again?
10.5 for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
I may require a schedule.
Okay, I have it up. Akron,
Okay, win.
Western Michigan, Marshall,
If you don't beat those two teams, I don't know what to tell you.
same. At Michigan State,
If you lose any one of your non-con games, how much on the Fire Ryan Day train will you be?
yes. That's all I got is yes.
All right, Big Ten play.
Michigan State at the wood. They're in the deep end of the woodshed.
Deep end of the woodshed of the Spartan Dogs. SD4L, Spartan Dogs for life. They win that game.
The Spartan Dogs that are struggling with.
FAU, yes. Florida Atlantic.
Then Iowa.
Where is that game played?
Not in Iowa.
Park Stadium.
Not the Michigan State game.
In Columbus.
Not at Kenneck. Not really a chance.
So Iowa, no chance is what you're saying.
Yeah, no. Ohio State has a defense as well. Iowa's got no offense. No.
Here's the unique one. At Oregon. 7:30 at night, Eugene.
Ooh. Oregon needs that game bad.
They do.
Bad. Toss up.
Also, that fits because the Oregon's a half-point favorite.
Okay. Hey.
Oregon's a favorite.
Almost like we've been doing this a while.
Oregon's a half-point favorite just because they're the home team, and the home team usually gets 3 points.
I was gonna say home field advantage is usually a 3-point swing.
Nebraska.
You'll beat Nebraska unless Dylan Raiola is
Jesus.
God. Yeah.
At Penn State.
Jesus God. He's got to be both.
Right. At Penn State.
Something stupid would have to happen, and James Franklin would have to actually have a brain to win that game. So no. And Drew Aller would have to not be ass, which I don't know he's capable of.
I'm going to take a line from Dave, our other assistant, on James Franklin. He's the dumbest man alive.
I mean, I don't know if he calls defensive plays for Penn State, but the fact that anybody, any team, if you're the head coach of a team that got the ball ran on you 35 straight times and you couldn't stop it.
Yep.
Dave's 100% right.
Yep.
Damn it.
Home against Purdue.
They should win, but they are the biggest Purdue candidate, I think.
Ohio State is?
Oh, no, sorry. I was still on Penn State. No, Ohio State is not.
Especially because that's a home game for Ohio State.
Yeah, Purdue rarely travels, as we said.
At the Chicago Cubs.
Oh, yeah. No, that if you aren't favored by 35 in that game, I don't know what to tell you.
Yep. Home against Kurt Signelli. Indiana.
Who did he coach for again?
Indiana. Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
Bring back Tom Allen for one game. You'd have a better chance.
Right. And then ending the season as a 10-point favorite against Michigan.
I'm seeing only 2 games that they even possibly lose. And that is
Oregon,
and
Michigan.
That is Oregon, and that is Michigan. Yeah. So 10.5, they got to win 11. I don't have to predict Michigan losing to Ohio State. I'll take the over.
I'm taking the over too. Will they go 12-0? I don't know.
Game is final. Michigan State 16, Florida Atlantic 10.
Hey,
Michigan State is 1-0.
they did not cover.
They did not cover. By the way, CBS has the spread at 13. So they really didn't cover.
Yeah. I don't know if Ohio
State
State's
to say the under hit, by the way.
right. I don't know if
It was 45.
Ooh, geez. I don't know if Ohio State's going to win 12. I can't say that because I don't know how Will Howard's going to be, and I don't know how good that offensive line's going to be. Receivers, they're going to be great. Defensively, they're going to be great. They got 2 of the best running. They might have the best running back room in college football.
Yeah.
With Travion Henderson and Quinton Judkins.
I would say they have to stay healthy, but they really don't. Like, I would say Judkins is more important to the success of Ohio State than Travion because we've seen Travion.
Yeah.
And now he can be a dude. But Judkins has real star potential. Yes, Ash, that you heard that correctly. Indiana University of Pennsylvania, that's a real thing.
Yes, it is. Like I said, receivers, Ohio State's still going to be stacked.
They always are.
Always are. This team, on paper, should win 12, but you never know if the slip-up happens. I am taking the over. They're going to win at least 11. That's what Ryan Day's good at, winning 11. And now, to end the Big Ten preview, the defending Big Ten champion, the defending national champion, went 15-0 last year. The Michigan Wolverines. Total wins on this.
Does that pain you to say at all?
Mathematically, it was going to happen sometime in my life.
Eventually.
It was eventually going to happen. Total wins for the Michigan Wolverines, 8.5. Odds to win the Big Ten, plus 900. And odds to win the national championship, plus 3,000. What say you? Actually, let me get this out of the way first. I actually want to pull up the schedule real quick, even though you might have it known right off the top of your head.
Mostly.
Need 9. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6,
I'm not
7.
sure if Ash is trying to get under your skin or if she really believes this, but she says Ohio State's going 6-6.
Good for her.
Does Will Howard and then Devin Brown both have to die for that to happen?
And then Lincoln.
Probably not, because then whoever QB3 is can hand the ball off to Henderson and Judkins 50 times a game.
3 losses would put them at 9. I'm taking the over.
Yeah, so read me the schedule. I know the early part of the schedule well, but
8.5 is
I don't know.
8.5 is just too low. Like 8.5 is too low. Give me 1 second. I gotta pull it back up. Fresno State, Texas, Arkansas State, USC.
Okay, so
The first 5.
Fresno State, yes, that's no doubt. Even though that spread is oddly low.
Yeah,
Just
for some
because I
reason.
don't think nobody knows what to expect out of Alex Orge. The presumed starter. And me and Dave are on the same wavelength with this, is that I really wish that Texas game was week 3.
Yeah.
It being week 2
Worries me.
I don't know. And I don't want to see really any juggling of quarterbacks by Sharon tomorrow. I don't want to see it. If Orge is your guy,
stick with him.
You start him, you play him until that game is out of hand. If you want to get a look at Jack Tuttle after that, fine. But we've seen Jack Tuttle. This is like his 3rd year on the team. We've seen him play.
Saw him at Indiana. We know
Exactly.
what you're getting out of
If
Jack
Jack
Tuttle.
Tuttle really is QB2, then get him in there in garbage time.
Yep, I agree. Fair statement.
Texas, who knows? They could be a real contender this year, and that's when you're gonna find out what Alex Orji is made of, because the defense isn't in question. The defense is still
Great.
there. They've got one of, if not the best player in the country in Will Johnson. The only reason he's not widely considered the best player in the country is because he's so good at his job at corner, you hardly ever hear him. You don't notice him during the game.
Yep.
Got one of the best defensive linemen in the entire country, Mason Graham, and just a very, very solid defense where even though we don't return starters in some positions, and, you know, losing Rod Moore probably for the season, that hurts a lot. But it's still a very good defense, and there were like just next man up a lot over that side of the ball. Receivers is a big fucking question.
I'm going to pause for just a second. Offensively, other than your offensive line, I think that's a question because I don't know what you're going to get with Donovan Edwards this year. I think Donovan Edwards could be good.
With him being the feature back now, he has
That
gotta
worries
be,
me.
He has got to be special.
Because
he can't do what he did for 13 of the 15 games we played last year,
where he was averaging 1.8 yards per carry.
Less than 3 yards a carry. When you're a team that's going to run the ball a lot, you can't let it happen.
Yeah.
There's some encouraging depth behind him. I'm a big fan of Khalil Mullings, who's RB2. Cole Cabana, who's sitting in there behind an RB3, at least presumably, where Michigan fans are very high on. Donovan Edwards has to take over that Blake Corum, Hassan Haskins before him role. Otherwise, things could fall apart because this is a run-first offense. And now Alex Orji is going to contribute in the running game. He's quick. No worries there. But he's also going to have to throw the ball. And that's where things get dicey.
And you can only run the quarterback so many times.
Yeah, for multiple reasons. For one, it's only going to work so much. And two, do you really want your number one guy getting banged up like that?
Yeah.
Outside of Samaj Morgan, there's nobody really all that proven. And even Samaj has never been a lead guy. So it's tough to say. One of the bigger sure things on the offense, of course, is Colston Loveland. One of, if not, he's got to be top 5 tight end in the country, and he's just so much of a sure thing that you're not worried there. And if Alex Orji can't throw the ball, throw it to Colston Loveland 10, 12 times a game. I don't care. That's perfectly fine with me.
Okay, so
with the win total being 8.5.
Did you want the rest of the schedule? We made it through USC.
Yeah, we'll run through it.
So I made it. We had Fresno, Texas.
I'm saying Texas is a little bit of a toss-up. I don't know.
Okay. Arkansas State.
It's a home game, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Home
against Quinn Ewers is entering like year 3, maybe even year 4 now. I don't know.
This is his 4th year. Yeah, senior year. Home against USC, home against Minnesota, at Washington, at Illinois, home against Michigan State. You will be present for that game.
I will.
Home against Oregon, at Indiana, home against Northwestern. They're not the Chicago Cubs that week. And then to end the season at noon Eastern time, tickets going for as low as $436. If you want those want to pay $436 for those seats, I know where they are in Ohio Stadium. You'll be in the stadium. You won't see the game at noon on Fox at number 2 Ohio State in Columbus, where
big game. So at most, I'm counting 3 losses.
Same. at most.
Even if you lose all of your big games, you lose to Texas, you lose to Oregon, you lose to Ohio State.
We're in agreement. Like, no matter what, they're gonna beat USC. Like, they're not gonna lose to SC.
I just don't see a way. I just can't.
We're in agreement there.
Find a way. USC's got to prove something first, for sure. But this is the college football preview. They haven't played yet. They haven't proven anything. So I have to make a choice. So I'm saying 3 losses at most.
I agree. I think at worst it'll be 3 losses.
And if Alex Orji is that dude, who knows?
I think that's worse. That is our college football preview. I got one last quick thing here with college football preview before we get to the picks. Some notable national games. We're not going to talk about these. I'm just going to tell them, hey, they exist. Week 1, we got.
Who knows? These games could not be notable 3 weeks from now.
Yeah. Week 1, Clemson at Georgia, and then USC LSU. Week 2, Texas at Michigan, Utah at Oklahoma State. Utah Oklahoma State's week 4. Tennessee at Oklahoma is week 4. Week 5, Georgia at Alabama. That game, some of these early ones will be notable. Week 7, Ohio State at Oregon, along with Ole Miss at LSU, Penn State at USC. Week 7 also, Texas at Oklahoma. Week 8, Georgia at Texas. Alabama at Tennessee. Week 10, Ohio State at Penn State. Week 10 also, Oregon at Michigan.
I'm surprised that's the first time, at least that I've noticed, that you said Penn State.
Said it a few times. Thanks, Horace. Also week 10. Yeah, you did. Also week 10, Oregon at Michigan. Week 11, Georgia at Ole Miss. I'm high on that Ole Miss team. Jackson Dart, led by Lane Kiffin. Mm-hmm. Week 12, Tennessee at Georgia. Week 14, Ohio State at Michigan. And then some just kind of other random bullshit because you get to weeks 11, 12, 13, 14. The SEC does stupid shit with non-con and...
Yeah, you gotta love SEC teams playing like
Mercer.
FCS teams.
Mercer in week 12, yeah.
Yeah, in the final week of the season. Kill me.
And that is
Georgia's classic non-conference game in week 11.
Yeah. Week 14, they played Georgia Tech. Woo. But Georgia Tech might be good because we saw what they did to Florida State. Let's move.
Florida State might be bad.
Yeah, that's possible too. Let's move on to the picks, or as I spelled them in the notes, the Pox.
Yeah, the Pox, which are not the Pucks.
Because
backdoor cover will return someday, but who knows when?
Because it wouldn't be a podcast if I didn't misspell something in the notes.
Of course. Well, remember that I spelled the podcast notes as the newts for about 4 years.
You did. The picks are always your thing, my friend.
It is the first time in a little under a calendar year since we didn't really do a full season last year that I can say it's time for picks.
Yep.
These are all Saturday games. I can't say that will be the case all throughout the year, but we put this together a little bit late, especially me with the picks.
That is not true. We have a Sunday and a Monday game. I
forgot about those, but all these games are happening in the future.
Yes.
We started off noon tomorrow on ABC. Number 14, Clemson. Number 1, Georgia. Neutral site game? Probably.
Yes.
Clemson is plus 14.5. And right out of the gate, we are bringing up the people. 74% of the people are on Georgia to cover that 14.5.
This Clemson team needs this game to be close. I'm going to say it now. I don't think Clemson's going to win. But the ACC is wide the fuck open.
Oh, yeah. Especially after what Florida State just did.
Yeah. Clemson needs this game to at least be close. So, give me the number again.
14.5.
That wasn't the number I was looking for.
74% of the people are on Georgia.
Some people say I'm a man of the people. In this case, they're wrong. Give me Dabo and the Tigers. They're not going to win, but they'll cover 14.5. I don't think they're going to lose by 15.
Wow! I don't believe in Cade Klubnik at all. Give me Georgia. We move on. 12:45 on the SEC network. Chattanooga. I couldn't tell you what their mascot is, and I don't care. They are plus 43.5 against the number 15 team in the land, Tiny's Tennessee Volunteers.
Only two of us know that
76% of the
reference.
people are 76% of the people are on Tennessee to cover that 43. It's actually not 43.5, it's 43.
The thing here behind Chattanooga says they're the Mocs, the MOCS. I have no idea what the fuck that is. 43 is a big number.
There is.
Is a big number. Give me the Tennessee Volunteers.
Give me whatever the fuck the Mocs are! 43 is a lot of points! I'm taking it! That's the beauty of week 1. There are big spreads everywhere. Speaking of big spreads, 2:30 p.m. on ESPN Plus, the Towson
Tigers.
Sure! Take on the Cincinnati Bearcats. 65% of the people are on Cincinnati to cover 33.5.
I can't take the Cincinnati Bearcats here.
Oh!
Which is funny because I took 43 even.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
Give me the Tigers here. Give me the Towson Tigers. I just don't know what to expect out of Cincinnati.
I made this pick kind of forgetting that Luke Fickell wasn't still at Cincinnati, but I'm sticking with it anyway. Give me the Bearcats.
It's not very often we're this split on picks.
No, but hey, this is good.
Good.
This is good. 3:30 p.m. on ABC, a game you will care very much about. 19th ranked Miami against University of Florida, unranked. People are dead split, so there ain't no man of the people thing here. And the spread is very small. Miami is a 2.5-point road dog, assuming this isn't neutral site.
It is not neutral site. This pains me to say it. I have Miami's a favorite, by the way.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said they were.
I said road dog. I did say road dog. Road favorite.
Yeah. I cannot pick the Florida Gators. Billy Napier is a terrible head coach. Cam Ward is good.
He is.
Is the U gonna be ACC champions at the end of the year? I don't know because Mario Cristobal is a fucking dumbass. Give me the U.
One quick question.
Yes.
Who's the starting quarterback for Florida?
Graham Mertz. Still.
In his 7th year of college football, Graham Mertz is still there. I don't believe in either one of these teams. As much as I do love Cam Ward, I don't believe in Miami as a whole. But I am taking them, especially with such a small spread.
Yep.
Give me the U. We move on. A game you will certainly be tuned in on. 3:30 p.m. on CBS. The Big Ten is on CBS now. Yay.
They were last year, too.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that. Michigan didn't play. Michigan didn't play a lot on CBS.
Ohio State did.
Akron, the Zips from the MAC travel to Ohio Stadium as 50.5-point dogs.
What the fuck is a zip?
I don't know.
Give me the Buckeyes.
What the fuck is a zip? They played in the Rubber Bowl for the longest time. What is Akron at all? Ryan Day loves non-conference teams and beating up on teams that they should beat fairly handily. So 50.5 seems a little small. I'm thinking 66-3 final. They'll luck into a field goal. Give me Ohio State.
Okay.
We move into our first shit fest of the week.
I'm upset
Saturday,
that this game is at 3:30 because I would want to watch this.
This game should be at 9 in the morning. But
On
it is
Friday.
on ESPN Plus, so nobody's going to watch it. It should honestly be on like a Tuesday. Maybe then it garnered like 2,000 viewers. Kennesaw State plus 24.5 traveling to UTSA. I don't even know where UTSA plays.
San Antonio.
I know that, but I don't know the name of the stadium.
Oh,
All I know is that they used to play in a dome.
Yep.
I don't know if they still do.
Do not know. What's a Kennesaw State? Where is Kennesaw State? First
I
off,
have no idea.
they are.
Last I checked, Kennesaw isn't a state in the United States.
Nope. When I first saw that Kennesaw State was joining the FBS, I read it wrong as Neshaw State. Jordan will get that reference.
Oh God.
Yep. No one else gets that reference. Jordan will. Give me UTSA by way more than 24.5. Big. Give me the Roadrunners.
You were actually going against the people on that because the people, 56% are on Kennesaw State. And all I know about Kennesaw State is that they're the worst team in college football 25.
Yes, they are.
Give me Kennesaw State! I don't know why. All I know is that UTSA, even with this big spread, who the fuck knows? Who pays attention to UTSA? Let's be honest.
True.
We move into the late window. Saturday at 7 on ESPN+. UT Martin at number 18. K-State. Kansas State favored by 37. The people widely on Kansas State here.
Some people say I'm a man of the people. In this case, they're right. Give me K-State. They're good. They're good.
No Will Howard, but I'm still on K-State. Come on. UT Martin.
Yeah, it's hard to pick against them.
Also, 7 p.m. on ESPN+, the Ole Miss Rebels. You're very high on them.
I am.
As is the current AP rankings. Ole Miss 6th. They take on Furman. Furman is a 42.5-point dog.
What is a Furman?
I have no idea. To be honest, the only real times I've even really thought about Furman were back in the old college basketball EA video game days, because they were in there.
Yep, because they are a D1 basketball team.
I think a random game I watched them play, like Purdue.
Jackson Dart's good. Quinshon Judkins is not there.
No.
Jackson Dart can throw the fucking ball, though. This team, Ole Miss team's good. I'm high on them. It's just a matter of, is Lane Kiffin going to do something dumb or not that causes them to lose later in the season? They're going to cover. They're going to win by well more than 42.5, so more than 43. Give me Ole Miss.
I love Ole Miss. Do not get me wrong. Jackson Dart will probably play one quarter, the first half at most, and I am very unfamiliar with the backups that they have. 42's a lot. I am way in the minority on this. Give me Furman for NCAA Basketball 09.
Love it. I love it.
7:30 on NBC and Peacock. The Fresno State Bulldogs plus 21.5 taking on the defending national champion Michigan Wolverines.
How does it feel to say that?
Pretty fucking great.
Why is first off, actually,
not sure I was ever gonna say that in my lifetime.
First off, you didn't have too many games on Peacock last year.
Oh, we had a couple.
Did you? Let's say Ohio State had
a
one.
few.
Yeah, you did have more than Ohio State. Ohio State had one, and it was against Purdue.
Notre Dame was on NBC.
Yeah, it was on NBC. It wasn't on True Peacock.
No, it's not like the Peacock exclusive game.
Yeah. Oh, this one.
Michigan didn't have any of those. They were on NBC and Peacock.
Oh, okay. This is not NBC exclusive.
No, it's NBC and Peacock.
Not Peacock exclusive. I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so question number 2. Why is this a 7:30 game?
I would try and say the networks, but I'm not entirely sure. We kind of did this a couple seasons ago. I think we even did it last year. We had like a night game against Bowling Green.
Yeah, you did, because that was like a weird game where McCarthy threw 5 interceptions.
It wasn't 5, but I think it was 3.
Question 3, why is this spread so low?
Uncertainty with Alex Orji, I would imagine.
Give me the Michigan Wolverines here.
Yeah. I will pick against Michigan if the spread doesn't make any sense, but this one just feels a little bit low. Fresno State is a Division I FBS team, but I don't know if they stand a chance to score more than a field goal. If they score more than 10, I would be surprised.
Michigan's defense is just too good. So, touch.
Another part of the low spread might be the fact that we're probably going to run the ball 50 times.
Yeah. It's fair. I could see 3 touchdowns, Michigan scoring 3 touchdowns and a field goal, and Fresno, like I said, lucky to get a field goal.
We'll see. 7:30 on ESPN Plus.
This game could be awful.
Alabama. A&M.
Yep.
Although they have the same colors as the Crimson Tide, they are not the Crimson Tide. They travel to Auburn to take on Peyton Thorne and the Tigers. This spread, Auburn minus 49.5.
This is a big number. And you said all that needed to be said in order for me to pick Alabama A&M. And you said Peyton Thorne.
No. Oh, you're back.
Okay, we're good. Give me the Alabama A&M Bulldogs.
They're the Bulldogs. Okay, that's information I didn't know. Give me Alabama A&M. That's a big spread for an unranked team with Peyton Thorne
Peyton
at
Thorne
quarterback.
is their QB.
Yep. We move on. Saturday, 7:30. Texas Tech minus 32.5, and 83% of the people are on them against one of the teams that is responsible for one of the worst bad beats of all time in Abilene Christian. 32.5.
I'm picking Texas Tech cautiously.
Hey, I do believe this is the first appearance for Abilene Christian in the picks. I can't not take them, even though they were the ones who didn't cover in the bad beat against Virginia. One of the worst bad beats of all time. I can't pass up the opportunity to take Abilene Christian.
Fair.
So give me the whatever the fuck they are.
Yeah.
7:30, Big Ten Network, the Idaho Vandals, that we know for sure, takes on the number 3 team in the land, the Oregon Ducks, from Autzen, Oregon, minus 43.5.
Oregon's first game in the Big Ten Network, on the Big Ten Network.
Big Ten after, well, a little bit before dark.
Yep. This is the perfect game for Oregon to cover. This is everything here. Like, Oregon covers these games because Dan Lanning likes to fucking stroke his ego and make himself like he's this huge, great, phenomenal coach and this fucking
it's an Oregon
genius.
Tradition.
Yeah, they get this fucking. And Idaho's an FCS team now, I believe. By the way,
Oof.
I don't believe they're FBS anymore. They're but Oregon gets these games where they overperform. They throw up 70 points on the board. They do it every year against a couple of these non-con opponents, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, Oregon's so great! Oregon's so great! Oregon's so great!" And then they shit the bed. Give me the Oregon Ducks here to cover this spread. They'll probably score 75.
Remember back in the Chip Kelly days when Oregon would score like 80 points a game in non-con?
Yep.
That may possibly happen, and I am taking Oregon. Saturday, in the first official game of Big Ten After Dark, Weber State against a team that was in the national championship game just a year ago, but lost a boatload. The Washington Huskies, minus 27.5 against Weber State, whatever the fuck Weber State is.
Give me Washington here. I can't take Weber State.
It's just no way.
Yeah.
For Washington, we both said gonna take a step back. We know
Big step
that.
back.
We know that they're gonna be they're not even gonna be close to what they were the last couple of years. It's Weber State, and if you can't cover 27.5, you can't beat them by 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Give me Washington. Sunday night football, kind of.
Yep.
7:30 on Sunday on ABC. Austin will be doing a sidecast of this game on his channel.
Yep.
Number 23, USC. Neutral site game as well against number 13, LSU. One of our smaller spreads of the week, LSU -6.
Game coming to you from Allegiant Stadium. I have no idea why they chose there.
The Modelo Vegas kickoff something.
Yep.
Classic, I believe. Will this game be a classic?
No. This is going to be one of those games that I'm going to look back on at the end of the season and be like, why the fuck did I do a sidecast of that game?
It's one of the more intriguing week 1 games. It has implications.
That's exactly why I picked it. USC is not going to be good. I don't think that defense is going to be good. Miller Moss, I believe, is, if I remember correctly, is the starter. Granted, LSU loses Jaden Daniels, and Malik Neighbors, Garrett Nussmeier is going to be the starter for LSU.
Yeah.
Give me the Tigers. I think they win by at least 7.
I am also on LSU. Neutral site, LSU, you think is the better team, in theory. And also, I mean, very high on Nussmeier. He's the one that kept Scott away from LSU for 3 seasons.
That's true.
Give me the Tigers. Even though I don't think this is going to be a blowout by any means for either team. But I think LSU can win by a touchdown. So
Yeah.
I'm more
Spread's too
confident
low.
in that than Miller Moss. So, and now we move on to the final game in week 1 of the picks. Monday Night Football in week 1 of college. This game, though, kind of stinks. Boston College. We have ACC play in week 1. Is this neutral site?
No. Actually, no.
I was going to say,
This is in Tallahassee.
The Boston College Eagles plus 21.5 against number 10 Florida State, which I'm not sure switched after their loss last week. I don't know.
It did not, because they haven't ran a new poll.
I was going to say, I don't think the poll would have changed. So just remember that Florida State did what they did a week ago. Boston College plus 21.5 for the final time here in week 1. 67% of the people are on FSU.
Some people say I'm a man of the people. In this case, they're wrong. I said last week, because I had a free FanDuel bet on that game, on the Florida State Georgia Tech game.
I couldn't believe it.
One of the legs was for DJ Ukulele Man, as he would be called the rest of this year. Because he should be playing a ukulele. He'd probably be better at it. To throw 220 yards. Throw 221 yards. That's a pretty...
Relatively low total in a pretty big early season game. You'd think the quarterback would step up, yeah.
And for a Power 4, Power Conference quarterback, 220, you would think is a fair number to expect from most power quarterbacks. He threw for 190. This Florida State team's not good.
But DJ!
He's bad.
I'm just reiterating the sentiment of Florida State fans and their cope after that loss.
Your mic cut out. Say that again.
Throw the ball more with DJ.
Yeah.
According to Florida State fans, they don't lose that game if DJ throws the ball more.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
What don't we know about DJ? I think Uiagalelei is how you actually pronounce his name.
Uiagalelei. It's, yeah.
What don't we know after Clemson and wherever the fuck
Oregon
he
State.
went last year? Or was it Oregon State or Oklahoma State?
It was
I don't know where he played.
Oregon State.
I've seen that he is bad since he filled in for Trevor Lawrence when Trevor Lawrence had COVID.
Yep.
That's how long this man's been in college football and how many teams he's played for.
Yep.
He's played bad. The COVID year.
Yep. He's bad. Give me Boston College here.
I'm on the Eagles. Let's go, Doug Flutie.
Let's move on to Champ and Chump so we can get out of here.
Oh, God. I got to play golf.
I have a champ.
Baseball.
Ooh, yeah, you do have baseball tonight. I got a champ. I don't know if you do.
No, I am once again unprepared, so this is all you.
My champ came pretty unexpectedly because I forgot this was happening today. And, it happened, it finally did happen down in Columbus. It should have happened a lot earlier. The two-time Heisman winner, the only one in 50 years, man whose number has been retired in all of Ohio football, that isn't the NFL at least. Number 45, running back, Archie Griffin. He got his statue outside of Ohio Stadium today, outside of the Horseshoe. It took too long. He finally got it, and stand-up man that he was talking about how just good the teams were and how if he didn't have the offensive line, he wouldn't have won the Heisman twice. Man will go down as one of the best to ever do it at his position in college, and he is my champ of the week.
Hey, there's a spider on your wall back there.
That doesn't shock me. I just looked at...
Didn't even get to check.
I just looked at... I forgot I had my putter there. I forgot I had my putter there because I got to repair that this weekend. Damn it. My chump of the week's you for that. My chump of the week is... Well, this goes back to last year. What's the Big Ten commissioner's name?
Is it still Kevin Warren?
No. Well, whatever. I can't remember the dude's name. The dude just suspended Jim Harbaugh for 3 games in the final 3 games of last year.
All right. Isn't Kevin Warren with the Bears?
Yeah.
Then I couldn't tell you.
Whatever. The Big Ten commissioner, all of the fucking media, fucking throw Connor Stallions in there for doing a fucking stupid documentary that was pointless. Fucking everybody that has just kept hammering on this fucking
Michigan. Bringing the hammer down!
Yeah.
The hammer's coming down on Michigan!
Everybody that has been...
Speaking of, when I saw Tim today, right?
Yeah.
You know, I had the Michigan hat on.
Yep. Oh,
this does relate, I promise. So I walked up to him today, right?
Yep.
I kind of covered the M on the hat, and I just tried to make his day a little bit better. He said maybe if I cover this up, that maybe it would improve your day. And he says, don't even bother. But that fucking football team of yours can't ever win without cheating. They can't win without cheating.
I knew that's where you were going. Yeah, everybody who keeps hammering on this, and Connor Stallions himself even, for making and whoever decided thought it was a good idea for him to make a documentary in which was pointless because he said nothing. Like, we have been... What did I just see on my camera?
She was talking. She made some sort of W thing, and that was me doing the Jameis Winston eating a W.
I see. Everyone who has just been hammering on this since last year. And then the NCAA for dragging this out into this season. They're all chumps of the week.
The hammer's coming!
Like, it just, I give Michigan nothing or give them the death penalty just so it's fucking over.
Michigan's vacating 3 seasons of wins!
Then do it now so it's
I'm
over.
not missing Ohio State insider.
Do it now so it's fucking over. I'm tired of it.
I just begged for it to be over. Now,
Like,
so the thing is that the NCAA has no power over vacating a national championship.
No.
So that's gonna stand. We can let that fever dream die.
Unless the committee decides they want to vacate one, which they're not going to.
They're not going to. It doesn't matter.
Like, yeah, it needs this. Just needs to be over. The fact that we are now going to be in October on a full in a month, a full calendar year of this that has just been drug out.
And we've been dealt 2 different punishments. One while Harbaugh was here, and now another while he's gone. What are we doing? Like, I get the first one came from the Big Ten.
And the notice of allegations
from the NCAA.
The fact that the notice of allegations just got to Michigan like last week is just disgraceful. The fact that this has been drug on, it needs to fucking stop. Either
and we said it when it happened that at Michigan State and other rival teams fans were like, oh well, their season just needs to like not count. We're not going to play the games. And it's just like, the NCAA, they don't act fast.
No.
On anything.
It's just,
come on.
The fact that this has been drug on for this long, it just needs to be done.
Yep.
Like, somebody, Luke, stop it.
Dog.
Like,
Spartan dog. Maybe.
No. It needs to be done. The fact that it's gone on for a year almost is disgraceful. And that's it.
I mean, blame Connor Stallions. I mean, I'm sure he's probably hurting for money, to be honest. DC, Mumford High School. Good for him.
Yeah, we landed on this.
I can't wait for the Mumford Manifesto to come out.
Well, they started off bad. They lost 44-7 yesterday. Oops.
Better loss than Alpena. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. Let's move on. That's all we got. Outro. Bye.
Bye.
I don't have much to say for an outro. Yeah. Next week.
For the record, I'm closing the Discord call. With us both streaming this, we don't really get to have the post podcast whatever.
Right.
Afterwards. I got other shit to do, so.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing an after show talking about other things. Next week, we have the NFL preview. That's it.
And we do.
Peace. How the fuck do I end Discord? There we go. And that is the podcast. And webcam work. One second, everybody. There we go. That's the podcast. That was the podcast.